Welcome, unique human. I am your human design translator, Isa Silver. This week presents a special opportunity to reflect on and potentially learn about what makes community. It's not what the hippies say it is, and I want to explore the energetic mechanics today. So, community is made of two forces as we see it in the human design system. We're looking at willpower and emotionality. And that emotionality can be called loyalty or friendship. It's the emotional energy to make an orderly community, to make a bargain. And in short, there's an energy here for hugging and cuddles and kisses. But the earth, in the gate of determination right now, in the willpower center, this is about the willpower to work for the tribe. But with that tremendous willpower being fed by emotionality and hugs and kisses, potentially, with that willpower to work for the tribe comes the power to refuse to work for the tribe, to want to break free and be alone. This is a gate of masturbation. Now, these energies, these frequencies of willpower and emotionality have been guiding humanity for the past 400 years. And the nuclear family is an example. But what's happened to nuclear families? They're going away because this energy is going away from the background frequency that's feeding humans. Thus, we're seeing breakdowns in families and communities and trust and loyalty and all these kinds of things. But it doesn't mean these aren't still part of the human experience. It's just not what the universe is pushing humanity to do anymore. I'll mention now, before going into the details, that if you carry either of these gates or this channel, I'm hosting an event next week to explore a little more about what our experience of having this energy and having it not be valuable anymore might be like. But let's get into the details. Where the sun is, the gate of loyalty or friendship, it's based on what has been called the mother-father. The, the mother or the father used to be the steady center of a harmonious community. But we know that many mothers and fathers are not that, and in fact are the opposite. 150 years ago, it was different. Even 50 years ago, it was different. But the roles of mothers and fathers in making babies, all of that is changing, and many of us never got to feel any steadiness from our parents. Now, the natural, the second line, responsibility. The natural already knows that personal responsibility is the basis for friendship. The third frequency of loyalty has the potential of even-handedness, the potential to impartially maintain order, because they've made and broken bonds around loyalty, and eventually they might learn how to be impartial about it. Externalizing loyalty is what Isa does, or at least I externalize that I value it. Example is the keynote here, and leadership through exemplary behavior is the potential here. Talking about manifesting the highest principles in the community. And coming to the fifth line of loyalty, what does the collective want to see? They want to see love. We will project on the people who carry this fifth line that they have a natural devotion to the community. But underneath that potential is the duality of the light and the dark of love. On the light side is love and harmony and perfected sharing. On the dark side is the potential of hatred coming from emotional dependency. Hatred, as we see it in human design, comes from the projection on someone that they are going to love you and be devoted to you. If you never have that projection or expectation, you can't call it hatred. But have you ever noticed that? And isn't this some ugly drama in humanity, this love-hate duality. And then there's the sixth line, kind of over the whole aloof thing, but having an appreciation to recognize and honor the values of the community. Potentially truly understanding the gifts and meaning of community. And on the other side, perhaps just not really valuing it too much. The sixth line, hypocrite. Now, in gate 40, line 6, we have an interesting polarity because on the one side, we have appreciation for the community. On the other side, we have the willpower to exclude people from the community in order to protect the group. This is tribal. Not everyone belongs in the tribe. Some people need to get kicked out. And from my perspective, it can be quite ugly. Ra called this line decapitation, if I remember right. And in my way of looking at things like genocide is the sixth line of gate 40 in action, excluding the people who aren't in our tribe because we are going to survive. Now, getting back down into the hexagram of determination or work or aloneness, the fifth line is rigidity. The rigidity is against negative forces. This will not succumb to mere affection if it's a negative force. The fourth line is going to talk about it and organize for the purpose of liberation. Let's all do the right amount of work so we don't have to work too much. That's a good kind of organization. Third line, experiencing aloneness can be called avoidance. The careful consideration to avoid negative forces. Trials and errors with excluding them, but potentially able to exclude the negative forces and thereby be alone and only do the work that's really right for you. The second line, the natural, liberation, to shed disrupting qualities. No work at it, not even aware of it, just shedding qualities that prevent what that ego wants. And then there's the foundation. Why have an ego for work? Why work for the tribe? So you can relax, so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. And when you've labored in a community, everyone gets to benefit, and you get to benefit in ways you wouldn't if you were alone. Bargains make opportunities, bargains make obligations. That's all part of the duality. And in light of the topic of relationships, I'll mention here that this channel is also called the channel of the marriage contract. How many new people are making marriage contracts these days? Maybe the marriage contract isn't necessary. Maybe it's not going to be a relationship. Maybe it's going to be a relating. Is it an exploration of each other? Is it a allowing of what is happening rather than forcing it into a bargain that isn't necessary? And let me be clear also that I'm not talking only about romantic relationships, parent-child relationships. Any kind of partnership can benefit from understanding what kinds of energies the other person really has. What can you really give? What do you really have? What do they really have? Can you blame them for that? Do you want to be blamed for what you were wired with? How about we get to know each other and respect each other and let the relating be easy? You'll find that opportunity here on my website. And as always, thanks to the Blue I Ching and 64 Keys for giving us great text to talk about these things. Until next time, take good care.